been married for 26 years, going on to 27 years actually. And we have 3 wonderful children, 2 of them who are adults and a teenager. And we have actually both been working, right out of school. We got steady jobs that we're still working at. I work as a mechanical technologist in a particle physics science lab, and I love it there. It's like my playground. And interestingly enough, we actually have, I've been enlisted in a project to build ventilators for our hospital. So we're developing an economical, quick turnaround, quick production ventilator to try and help with the COVID-19 pandemic and save people's lives here. So we have that technology, and we swung into action. And and Sashi's ever since graduating.
I graduated with a business degree in university, and then I started at BC Hydro working as a market researcher. So I've been there for 27 years now, and it's been an amazing job just to balance family life with my work life, and raising a family of 5, like 3 children, and having that secure job. But my passion has always been to have my own business. Ever since I was a little girl, I was that little girl that would have the lemonade stands and have the little Halloween parties in the basement and sell tickets to my haunted house and things like that. I would come up with these little ventures, and I went the route of school, like a lot of people do and did in those days. Societal expectations are get the degree, get the job, and then just go for it and build your life that way, the nice house, the family, and all of that. But inside, I always have this burning desire to have my own business. And so the fact that this came upon me 4 or 5 months ago now, it was the biggest blessing in my life, because it was everything I could have asked for in a business, like in terms of what I'm truly passionate about. So
and the fun factor.
And the fun factor. You got to have fun. And like Cindy said, the relationships are the most important thing, because I truly feel that when we get to the end of our lives, it'll be the quality of our relationships that mattered, right? And I truly, when you were talking, and I felt that from the first day I met you, that you have that passion and that love for people and building the relationships, and we're all about that. And that's why I feel like we were attracted to each other, and the blessings were just mutual. So.
Yeah, it's a good point that you mentioned, Shashi. I think if you take a poll of 100 people who are at their life's end, and you ask them, what do you regret? I don't think you would hear anyone say, I regret that I didn't spend more time at work. You would hear them say, I regret not spending more time with my family, with my friends, doing things that are meaningful and purposeful. And I like the fact that you mentioned that you had that kernel of entrepreneurship in your heart as a young child. I think a lot of us have that, don't they? And particularly now, a lot of people are looking how to do something with that kernel of entrepreneurship, that burning desire to do something that is something that we own, that's ours, that we don't have to, report to a boss about. And I think the big elephant in the room, of course, we've kind of touched on the surface of it today so far, is this incredible virus that has literally changed everything. I mean, so much of what we became accustomed to in our day-to-day lives has changed. Maybe for a short period of time, maybe for a longer period of time, maybe forever. And I think, as we've been talking for the last few days and weeks about how this has really turned everything upside down, we've been looking for ways to find some opportunity in this adversity. And I think we've really found it. I really do believe that what we have to offer people by way of hope, by way of real hope, real meaning, and real alternatives is what is exciting to you guys. So let's kind of shift. I'm going to play interviewer, if you don't mind. I'm going to be the interviewer. You'll be the interviewee. So we'll have this little back and forth discussion. Cindy will fill in
Yeah, that sounds great. And one thing I just wanted to mention that we didn't touch on is that we also are life and relationship coaches. And we've been doing that over the last year and helping people with just goal setting and helping them navigate their way through tough situations and really coming from within and coming from their soul purpose. So that's another thing that we've been doing, and that's really been so beneficial in this business. And I just wanted to mention that as well, because it's something we didn't mention earlier.
It's important. It's important. I'm curious, what attracted you to the business? Gosh, it was October of 2019 when you first got on that plane from Vancouver, British Columbia, and you met Cindy and me in Salt Lake City, and we attended a little convention that had about, I don't know, 10, 15, 20,000 people with us.
I think 15, yeah.
What attracted you to joining in the first place? I'm curious.
Well, there's a few things. One is the amount of energy that people had and the passion that people had for the company, for the products, and the embodiment of the energy in people that are aging. Like, I'm looking to people at that conference that are in their 60s and even in their 70s, and the amount of energy, vitality, the glow, the passion for life, that was so inspiring to me. I mean, I just turned 50. At the time I was 49, and I was like, oh, 50's around the corner, and Rick had turned 50 last year. And so for us, the whole idea of aging into that, like, people can go two ways with aging, right? They can start going downhill, start feeling the aches and pains, start feeling the loss of energy, start feeling, all of these different things. And by the time we came and joined the business, we had already tried some of the products. And Rick had noticed.
For me, the going to Utah and seeing the headquarters, the lab was phenomenal. Be working in a science lab, I recognized all the sophisticated equipment the scientists there were using to make sure their product was of the quality ingredients it needed to be. Mass spectrometers and things like that, which is incredible. All that equipment, and I was really impressed with everyone and the energy. But most of all, I was impressed with what the product did for me. So for me, I had lower back pain. I had two bulge discs. I had arthritic knee. I guess I still have it, but for the last 15 years or so. These things were painful in my body, and since taking the products, all that pain has disappeared. I feel like I'm 30. I feel so youthful, so flexible, so energetic. So I really fell in love with the products, and so that's what did it for me.
And honestly, I think that's what helped taking those products for us give us that burst that we needed to be able to run a business, in addition to having our full-time jobs and our family of 5 and taking care of our extended family and all of the other things we do in our life. But taking these products and feeling better and just gave us that extra 3 hours in our day where we're not feeling like slumping on the couch, but we're feeling like, yeah, let's do some more. What else can we create and what else can we do? So,
yeah. Well, you know what? And a lot of folks probably don't know what products that we use and we're talking about, but we're in the health and wellness field, life sciences field, if you will. We deal with skin care, hair care, body care, along with nutritional, pharmaceutical grade nutritional supplements, top grade devices that you can't find anywhere else that are world ranked as #1. And Cindy, of course, has a background. That's her prior background in skincare, beauty care, health and wellness, things of that nature. Owned a chain of salons and spas, and her expertise has really been able to evaluate the quality of the products. Is that right, Cindy? These products are far and away the best in the world, aren't they?
Yeah, whenever I first, was introduced to the product line, I was really shocked at the ingredients because I didn't realize that they could even be affordable. Because when you really look at the ingredients and then when you twist around the bottles, I mean, I was shocked at that because they really didn't exist. And I've been in with this company for 30 years nearly, and I still to this day sit around in awe because, I still look at the competition, wouldn't be, I actually would that's really something that, as an entrepreneur, you still do that. And I got to tell you that there's still nothing out there like this company. And that's why I'm still where I am. I mean, I still couldn't ever find anything else that would even come close to what I'm doing. And that's why, I think it's so exciting. That's why people say to me after all this time, how do you stay so happy? How come you stay so excited? Why do you still have all that compassion? And it's like, I can't help it. I think it's just, I cannot get the smile off of my face, and people just think that I'm out of my mind, but I can't help it because I just can't find anything else out there that can even come close to what we're doing. And even after all these years, I still can't find it. And it's like, I looked at other companies, I've looked at other products, but I just can't find anything that can even come close to what we have. And I can tell you right now why I looked at this company, and just to go ahead and just because I have to say it, because I was a single mom when I started. And there's a lot of people out there that start these businesses because they don't have husbands, they don't have relationships, and they really are out there today and they feel alone. They don't really have a significant other. And I didn't have that. And so when I started this business, I wanted something for my family, and I wanted something that I could call my own. I wanted my own business. And when I started this business, I felt that when I joined this business, I wasn't alone, because with our company, it's like you join arms with a company that joins arms with you. And when I started this business, I felt like that whenever I joined, I then now had a company that had everything in place for me. I had the compensation plan. I find other companies out there that whenever if I was going to do this business, I wanted something that I could leave to my little girl that's now 40. I think to myself, it's like I started whenever she was like 8, and now she's 40. But, and it's funny how, I ride around town now and I look around and people are just grinding out a living. And now it's like with the virus and everything that started now, it's like now people can now have alternatives. And I feel like this virus has now just basically ignited everyone's, into a different position. And it's like it's now given people a way to now sit in front of their computer and to learn to be more crafty, learn to do things in a different way. And what is the number one thing that you can actually feel that that you can be the most grateful for? And what do you think that is? It's going to be your network. How many people do you know? How many people you can get to today to offer them something and allow them to be involved with you in a business and offer them what you have today? And that is the number one thing that you can offer is to involve them with your network.
Cindy, you make a very good point. You make an excellent point about the fact that people are actually looking. And
Absolutely.
Rick and Shashi, you guys were mentioning some personal examples and maybe people of all age ranges who are really impacted by this change, this financial uncertainty, this massive change in the economy, that are looking now for alternatives. Maybe you can share some of those examples with us.
Yeah, like our oldest child is 24, and she works in a restaurant. She's finishing her degree, and their restaurant is shut down, as are many restaurants. So all of those servers are now out of work, and they're just waiting to see what happens. So they're not earning any income right now, and the government is giving some help. But many of them are just kind of, they're in very different situations where they're having to pay their tuition fees coming up and things like that. And some of them are struggling to even come up with rent. And Rick had a call from one of his cousins, I think, the other day who.
Yeah. So people, I know people are losing their jobs. They're losing work. They're losing their clients, and they're forced to sit home, and not much they can do about it. And as much as I'd like to provide them with the solution, for how Sashi and I can help them, navigate through these tough times.
Yeah, like, I mean, I was really surprised to see, like, within 3 months of doing this business, I looked at how much we had earned last month, like in the first three weeks of March. And I looked at it and I'm like, that is equal to what I earn in a month's paycheck, you know, at my job. And it's built up so fast that I didn't even, you know, it's whirlwind almost. And I was explaining it to one of my daughter's friends about how much she's like, you got that in 3 months? I said, no, I got that in 3 weeks to her. So it can really be done, and it's fast. And Cindy, I mean, you can speak to this as well. Like it's like you don't even realize how quickly it builds up, and then it's just there.
Well, one of the things that, you know, there's so many other companies out there today. And one of the things that we pride ourselves on is the compensation plan, you know, and you know, I have always said that, you know, if I'm going to get out and take away from my children, take away from the things that I love, I want to make sure that I'm compensated. You know, I want to make sure that I'm being paid, you know, handsomely. And, you know, and I want to make sure I'm being paid what I'm worth. And that's another reason why I chose this company, is because I wanted to make sure that those things I'm getting checked off are going to be, you know, taken care of. And that's something Dan can probably allude on better than I can, you know, because, you know, of the way that the way we, you know, are compensated. Dan, you want to go into that?
Right. You know what? One of the things that we do that is really unique compared to traditional business is we earn our income based upon not only the efforts that we invest, our own personal efforts, but also the efforts of other people whom we connect with the company. So, you know, there's something called Metcalfe's Law that I learned about a couple of weeks ago. It's pretty interesting. Metcalfe, it's a mathematical equation, if you will. Basically, this law says the value or the impact of your network is equal to the square of all of the people in the network. So think about it this way. The way we translate it to our business is we have people who are using our products. We have devices that people use. And when you add up all of those people in your business and multiply that number by the same number, you get the potential impact of your network. It can be pretty amazing. It's the square number. 2 times 2 is 4. That's a square number. 3 times 3 is 9. That's a square number. Take all of the people in your network who are using your products and your devices, multiply it by itself, and that's the potential impact of your network in this business. So we really do leverage the ability to earn on not only our efforts, but the efforts of countless people theoretically around the world. We're in 54 countries doing business now, and it's growing. And we'll be opening new markets like India, which we're very excited about, and Brazil and others worldwide. But right now, our existing markets, including yours in Canada and Cindy and ours in the US, but also our worldwide markets, is enormous. It's absolutely enormous. So what we're doing is we're showing some people an opportunity, an alternative, because people are looking for alternatives now. We know this for sure and for certain. You just mentioned it, Rick and Sashi, from your own personal experiences. People are looking for alternative ways to make money, not only to survive, but to thrive potentially. And that's what we offer. We offer this alternative. And it's not the alternative that you might think, like driving people all over town as an Uber driver or a Lyft driver and making a very, very tiny little bit of money. Those people don't make a lot of money, believe it or not, plus they have a lot of the overhead and expense to deal with. Or maybe opening up a B&B. That's another alternative. If you're an entrepreneur, Sasha, you could open up bed and breakfast, but you'd have huge capital outlay and there's a lot of risk. Mm-hmm. Most traditional businesses have those downsides, a lot of capital invested, and it's all at risk. This business
and you're all alone on your own.
All alone. You're by yourself, right? And if it doesn't work out, the bank is still going to knock at your door for that loan payment, right? Yeah. You don't have any of that downside here. You have virtually no risk with huge upside potential. We never tell people that they're going to make X number of dollars because it's all up to them. We don't know what their network is worth. Mm-hmm. But we know that they have the ability with the compensation plan, which is the most lucrative in our industry, by the way. We have the ability to teach people how to monetize their networks, how to bring true value to their networks. You know, Facebook is worth so much money. It's not because they sell a bunch of things. Facebook doesn't sell a bunch of stuff. It's because the value is in the networks that Facebook is connected with. That's where the value is. So we all have our networks. They all have real value. The question is, how do you monetize it? That's how we show people what to do. I want to shift a little bit and talk some about what you're seeing out there in your community in Vancouver, Rick and Sashi, and what you're hearing about from people all over the world that you're connected with in your networks about their uncertainties and their concerns that they have about, we talked about this a little bit, making rent payments, making tuition payments, but are you finding that some of these people are also looking for solutions that maybe we have to offer?
Yeah, I think they would be looking for solutions. I mean, one thing that I've noticed even just driving down in my neighborhood, that all the local businesses are closed right now. So those are business owners that are now home. So whether or not they adequately prepared themselves for this digital age that we're in, that's been now sped up 1,000 times due to this pandemic. Like, we were already moving very quickly technologically, and for a lot of people, it was just too quick. But now, given this pandemic, it's like we just shot up like so much quicker. And so if business owners weren't adequately prepared for that, we do have a solution where we can help them do something online and transfer those entrepreneurial skills into something that a business that would be so it's home-based, it's online, it's in an industry
Mobile.
that is moving into $1 trillion industry, health and anti-aging. There's our products appeal to millennials. They appeal to our age group and older. Like, there's something for everybody in our product line. And I feel that if there's any time to get involved in this business, it's now. Just looking back into previous recessions and what's happened and what kind of companies have been born out of recessions, like Airbnb, Uber was another one. Those ideas came in a downturn economy when people were out of a job and they put their creativity to work and ideas were born and businesses took off. And those are now such successful businesses. And we're in that downturn right now, and it's the greatest opportunities to start looking at what else is out there. One door is closed, and don't focus on that closed door because you'll miss what is right in front of you right now.
That's well said. You know what? The cool thing is, if you look at how businesses change literally overnight, the businesses that are still open, a lot of them have people working remotely. I think you guys are working remotely now, right?
We're one of the lucky ones that have our jobs and are working remotely. And
this is my prediction. I predict that as more and more businesses realize that they can have their employees working remotely, and more employees realize that they like working remotely, they like being home with their family, and they like multitasking, doing the laundry and the cooking, cleaning, etc., and working as well for their employer, they may be less likely to say when it turns around, hey, I want to go back to that old stuffy office. I've got accustomed to working at home. I kind of like that. The cool thing is, this is what we've been doing for 36 years with this business. We know how to work from home. We know how to work from phones. We know how to work remotely. This is what we do. We know how to work with Skype and Zoom and Facebook and all that. This is what we do. We've been doing it for a long, long time. So as people become more accustomed to working remotely, we have an alternative that we can offer to them where they can monetize their network by using these new skills that they're learning about working from home and working remotely. So the other thing that I think is interesting that you mentioned, Sashi, a moment ago is technology, how technology is quickly changing. One of the cool things about this company is it's a 36-year-old company. It's publicly traded on the New York Stock Exchange. In 2019, last year, they hired a gentleman from Amazon Web Services. His name is Vince Perfetti. And they gave the title of Chief Transformation Officer. They were going to transform this, at that time, 35-year-old company into a new technological company. And they hired Vince from Amazon Web Services. And what he did is he took this company that had old servers hanging around in a big office building, and he transformed that entire infrastructure and put it into the cloud. And he did it seamlessly and effortlessly. And it's been written up, by the way, in terms of how well that went. What that did for this company and for all of us who work with and in the field is it allowed the company to be prepared for something like today. So as a consequence, this $2.5 billion company has almost every one of its employees working remotely. And it allowed us in the field, those of us who are the income generators for the company, allowed us to continue to work remotely just as we had all along, and continue to earn income and grow our businesses tremendously. Cindy, I think you wanted to talk about maybe Vince, because you have a great relationship with him, and you know how beneficial he's been for this company and for our businesses individually, right?
Yeah, I love Vince. He's great. You know, it's nice to have his cell phone number so I can text him whenever I need something. Yeah, I love him because, you know, I just get so, you know, it really, he digitized the New York Library. I mean, who does that? You know, he's an amazing man. You know, we're just so grateful to have him on staff, and what he's done for our company is just amazing. And I'm just so thankful to have people like him. He's changed our company, and you know, and I love the fact that, you know, we're just you know, our company's it's not just like an average company. We're a digital company, and you know, we're not like Kodak. You know, it's not going to be just going by the wayside. You know, we are in the forefront of what's going to take place in the near future. You know, it's like we at this moment are working from our phones, and I love that. You know, it's like I love being in the car. I love working around town. I get to spend time with my kids. They're out by the pool. You know, I work right here, and that is such a good feeling, you know, that I can work an international business with 54, 55 countries right here. And, you know, that is an amazing thing. You know, and I have this another thing that really is dear to my heart is that, you know, this is generational. You know, for this company, it's generational. You know, if you're going to get out and work, you know, and you're going to have to do something, how is that going to affect your life down the road? Is this something that you can leave to your children? And, you know, and I look at how people live their lives, and that's another thing I'm very impressed with Rick and Sashi. You know, when I went to visit them, I look at how they live their lives, how they're debt free. You know, they're not a typical couple that's, you know, running around trying to live from paycheck to paycheck. But then they also recognize the quality of this company. You know, but most people don't have a clue if they, you know, how they're going to, you know, send their kids to college, how they're going to, you know, how they're going to, you know, retire, what they're going to do. So, you know, our business basically is set up for people to start thinking about down the road, thinking about what they're going to do with their life. You know, and for me, I wanted to think about what I was going to do for my children. Well, at the time, I had one daughter, and now she's got 3 children. So now Dad and I have something that we can leave to our children. And that is something that's so big for me, because after I'm gone, I know that they won't have to struggle. Because who knows what's going to be the next pandemic, what's going to happen out there, and what's going to happen to our children, what's going to happen to our families, and how are they going to fare with the next challenge that we're going to have. So, you know, I love this company because it allows for us to plan, and we have a backup with, you know, because it's sort of recession proof. It's sort of, you know, the products, the services, everything we have is what people need and want. And that's what I love about it.
I think, Cindy, you mentioned a good point. There was a study done years ago about products and industries that are recession-proof or recession-resistant. And it just so happens that we participate in at least a couple of those. One is beauty, health, wellness, and also nutrition. There's a third industry that tends to be recession-proof that we don't participate in, and that's the alcohol industry. But if you look at those 3 industries, health and wellness, nutrition, and alcohol, they tend to do pretty well in recessions. And so we're very confident that we're going to do well with respect to our participation in the first 2. So I know that, Rick, you in particular are really excited about the technology advancements that our company has made and where that places us in terms of really, really good positioning for capitalizing on big market share in the next few years. And I'm talking about artificial intelligence and sensors. Is there anything you'd like to share from your own perspective about that particular matter?
Well, what I'd like to talk about is just we have the scanning technology, for instance, where it's the first that I've ever heard of where a pharmaceutical supplemental company can offer you a before and after taking their product. So we have the scanning technology to be able to measure the amount of antioxidants you have in your body, and then take our products or supplementation and then get measured again, and to see an actual increase in your antioxidant level. And if there isn't, you get your money back. So, that's incredible. Like, aside from the AI, just that fact that the money back guarantees on everything is just blows my mind. The customer service. But I would also like to add about the AI and the growing technology that NSC is starting to implement with their own, growing their own products in their in the proprietary grow pods and things like that. That's phenomenal, and they're going to change the world. They're going to change the industry with this technology.
And also the sensors that you alluded to, the sensors being placed into the skin devices at some point. There's the potential to be able to do that. And the amount, and you alluded to the Metcalfe's law, so being able to collect all that data back and then recommend products based on the on collecting that data. As somebody that works in the market research industry, I just see that collection of data and how far advanced Nu Skin is. Being so far ahead technologically and thinking 3 to 5 years into the future, we're going to just, the potential of what that can bring to a distributor and their network, it magnifies it that many more times.
You're right. I think it's been reported recently that the value or the impact of sensors over the next 5 years is estimated to be $11 trillion. So sensors and artificial intelligence, the collection of data, this is something we've been doing as a company for a number of years, and certainly now even more that we have this Chief Transformation Officer from Amazon Web Services. And this large collection of data the company's been able to create, it's been able to create a data lake or a data ocean, if you will. They're using that now to target consumers' needs in terms of health and wellness and nutrition and skincare. And they're going to be able to help us in the field recommend the appropriate products for those needs with artificial intelligence. This is amazing. This is way beyond anything that anyone else is doing in our industry. We're light years ahead of the competition, and there's more to come. Cindy and I were privy to a private call with the top leaders in the company and the corporate execs this past week. We can't share the details, but I can tell you this. What we saw was mind-blowing in terms of the ability to analyze people's needs with sensors and artificial intelligence and allow that to help us recommend appropriate products in our product portfolio and devices. Wow. This is going to be amazing. Everyone's different. Everyone has special needs. We're going to be able to target on those needs and make the precise recommendations that are appropriate. This is really, really cool. No one else is doing this. This presents even more opportunity. It's a lot of fun too. I can tell you, it's going to be a lot of fun to use these devices to make these analyses and recommendations. That thing alone, that fun factor alone, is going to attract a lot of people. I think, particularly the younger people, because they're going to enjoy using this technology. So
absolutely, yeah. And I think the younger people too, like there's a real tendency and a push towards owning your own health and being preventative. And more people are not relying on the traditional medical system to treat their illnesses. They want to be preventative. And so with the company being this far ahead, it's so much more incentive for the younger generation to get involved now. The next 3 to 5 years, we've talked about what a change this is going to be in terms of the business growing. And there's just such a massive opportunity now for anybody, even like at our age, it's for the whole anti-aging aspects of it. And for the younger generation, it's the whole getting on top of things now. And we have different ways that younger people can do the business that are already laid out in social media, like the posts are already created for them, and they basically just share the posts. So for our toothpaste, for example, our anti-plaque whitening toothpaste with no peroxide, it's an easy product. Everybody loves it. It's just it's changed all of our teeth. We all have these nice bright white smiles. And Rick still only brushes once a day, I think, right? Like,
don't tell anybody.
I've been still working on him, but things like that. Or we have other products too, like our lash serum. There's this tendency, people now cannot go and get their lashes done, where a lot of people were going out every 3 weeks to get their lashes done. And we have this beautiful serum, and I've been using it for a month, and it's made my lashes grow so long. Like there's products like that we can be very easily for a younger person to market on their social media, that is going to help other people and solve problems that they have now that they can't leave the house.
Yep, you're right about that. So we have obviously a demonstrable problem, a challenge, an adversity that's affecting a lot of people all around the world. We've got businesses changed overnight. The way that we do business today is remarkably different from the way we did it last month, and it's going to be changing even further into the future. And we have the opportunity to provide some real alternatives to people. What do you guys say to people who are kind of wondering, thinking, well, what is it that you guys do, and how do you do it, and should I get involved? Should I ask more information? What would your message be to people who are really looking for something? They have that kernel of entrepreneurship in their body that they want to explore, and they want to nourish that. They want to use it to their full advantage. What would you say to those folks who are looking for something about what they should do next in terms of taking a greater look, or taking the plunge to become involved with us?
Well, I think just send me a message, and we'll have a chat like we are right now, and we'll talk to you one-on-one, and with Cindy and Dan and all of us, just have a chat, and you can ask us any questions that you want, and we can hear more about your situation and see if there could be a fit. I think really just it's all about reaching out to us and just saying, I want some more information, because unless we know, the reason why we're here on this call is to put this out there, because a lot of people may not know what we're up to and what we're doing. We haven't really made the information readily available, and now we just need to hear back from you that you're interested in more, and we will do the rest.
I would also consider your situation and you know, the potential for your future, and could this pandemic affect you long term, and are you open to looking at opportunities to generate some income and possibly create an amazing business? And if that's a possibility and you're open to that opportunity, please contact us. And
well said, Cindy.
Yeah, we'll share what we can have to offer, and with the amazing support we also receive from our mentors and business partners such as Cindy and Dan, who are in Florida, by the way. I guess I didn't mention that.
Yeah.
And
it's Sarasota.
Dan's brilliant. He's a lawyer, and he knows so much about the company and the business and the
legal aspects.
Yeah,
yeah. And then also I also just wanted to say that as coaches, we've been helping people in a variety of different ways, and whatever we can do to build our network's business, we pour, like, they're like our children. Like we feel like we want to just lift them up and build them up, and there's all of this support available from Rick and I, from Cindy and Dan. Like, we all work as a team, so anybody that comes to us, like, you are not on your own. You are with us, and we coach you and we help you and we get you going, and that is what brings the greatest joy to us. So please do reach out, and don't be shy by any means. Like, sometimes people might feel a little intimidated. Don't feel that way. We've worked with all types of people. We have 3 children, and we know all personality types. So really don't feel intimidated or shy. If you're thinking about it, just reach out and let us know.
Well, Cindy and I are incredibly proud of the two of you because you've accomplished a great level of success in a really short period of time, and it's just now beginning. And I know you're having a lot of fun with it, and you're experiencing new things that you hadn't experienced before, but you're also bringing to the table your expertise and your life experiences and your coaching skills, and those certainly are tremendous. I know, Cindy, you have some things to share with the audience about how Rick and Sashi are doing so well and how you feel about that level of success that they've achieved.
Well, with just some final thoughts before we close the call, this allows people to be to share their creativity. Entrepreneurship, that's what Dan and I teach all day long is we teach entrepreneurship, because people have their own personalities, and our opportunity's free. It doesn't cost a penny to get involved with us, and that's what's so wonderful. Our products are unique. They are absolutely, you cannot find them anywhere else on the planet, and the company, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is nothing less than the very best. And that's one of the things that has always been so wonderful for me is the products, the company, the compensation plan. We're creating a new millionaire every 3 days. That is something that I have always been so proud to say is that we pay. Our compensation plan is one of the, if not the best compensation plan in the world. So, if you're going to do something like this, you want to be compensated. And I've made this comment earlier. So, it allows you to be you can be creative, use your creativity. And, again, you've got lots of people that will work with you, and, especially Dan and I, and you've got Sashi and Rick, and we're all here, for you, because this is a time where we all need to come together. This is a time where everybody can utilize their resources, because everybody needs that right now. So don't be shy. Give Rick and Sashi a phone call, and we're here because we have a great time. And we're here in Florida, they're in Vancouver, but you know what? We always meet in the middle. We can light this world up regardless of what's going on, and we'll have a big time together. So guys, listen, we love you all so much, and if you need us, you know where to find us. We're around. It's not hard to find me, Cindy DeMay.
Thanks.
You bet.
So it's been great talking to you guys.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much for being on. Really enjoyed that. And for all of those that are watching live, thank you very much for joining us. We'll talk to you all.
God bless everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.